Tomato, tomato. It doesn't matter in this city. Newswatch 16's Jeremy Lewan shares his visit to the Pittston Tomato Festival in this latest installment of Jeremy's Journeys.
Welcome back to Jeremy's Journeys, where today we're in Pittston, Pennsylvania in Luzerne County at the Pittston Tomato Festival. The city of Pittston takes the saying, painting the town red, to a whole nother level. With murals of tomatoes on buildings and tomatoes adorning the street signs, Pittston calls itself the quality tomato capital of the world, and for good reason.
So people have said for a very long time that the soil is very good, very rich because of the coal mines and the Susquehanna River, that the combination of those two just provides a really good soil for a really good tasting tomato, and people say it's the best one in the world, so we decided to have a festival in honor of that great tasting tomato.
And for 40 years, the annual Tomato Festival has been held here, and tens of thousands thronged to Pittston this August to be involved in the tomato-related festivities. The festival kicked off with the Ultimate Tomato 5K Run, with hundreds of local runners taking part. Gretchen Ott, a first-time vendor at the festival, selling her knives for cutting tomatoes and donning tomato earrings, told me,
I was hoping to see some tomatoes running on the 5K. Like
there was.
People dressed up.
There was one tomato running on the 5K.
When I was passing a corner, someone said that I was the first tomato in the finish line. So I'm assuming he meant there were more tomatoes, whether there were small tomatoes on shirts or what, but I'm sure there's a ton of tomatoes here today. All tasty tomatoes.
A lavish parade followed, featuring a collection of 80 different floats, musicians, performing groups, and mascots, with lots of candy handed out to the kids. The festival itself featured a dunk tank, dozens of whirling carnival rides, and of course, live music.
Channel 16, Jeremy Lewan, how are you? Watch you guys all the time.
Thank you.
Welcome.
About 70 vendors dotted the festival grounds.
Lots of Italian-based, clearly, in honor of our tomato festival and sauce and whatnot. There's a lot of other ones too, great variety of chicken and beef and cheesesteak, sausage, pasta. It's just something for everybody. Lots of ice cream choices too, and I love ice cream.
One of the vendors was Drip Coffee Company, selling special themed products, including
tomato cake pops we got from an independent seller, Cakes by Natasha. We also have Tomato Fest tea, so it's a green tea, strawberry syrup with lemonade, so it's a nice red color.
I also tried the famous tomato pie from Carmela's.
Carmela, yes. Carmela was our grandmother, and she's actually right on our jar here of our pasta sauce. So this is all in memory and in her honor. You know, keep feeding everybody because that's what she loved to do. And this year at the Tomato Festival, we wanted to do something that is items that are derived from the tomato. So we did our tomato pie.
The tomato pie is no pizza. There are actually a few key elements that set it apart. It's served at room temperature, not hot. It has a thinner focaccia-like crust. It has no cheese except for a sprinkling of Parmesan on top. And the sauce is made using their exclusive Carmela's homemade sweet tomato sauce. The festival was also accepting submissions for their competition for biggest, smallest, ugliest, and most perfect tomatoes. John Davis from Pittston Township hoped he had the best entry for
the biggest and ugliest tomato at the Pittston Tomato Festival.
And you grew this in your own farm?
Yes, I did.
But after wandering through the entire festival, I had the same question as many others.
That's what I said to my daughter. I said, for this to be a tomato festival, where are the tomatoes?
We have heard that from a number of people, especially on our Facebook page. We're yielding a lot of questions about there being no tomatoes at the Tomato Festival, but we just couldn't get any farmers to commit, which we tried. We very much tried. We have a farmers market every Tuesday, and nobody was able to commit to coming to the festival itself. We usually have down below at the lower lot, we usually have a farmers market with farmers, a handful of farmers actually. We couldn't even get one to come this year. Usually there's a couple of them that offer tomatoes and other fruits and veggies as well.
Possibly even more controversial than the lack of tomatoes at the Tomato Festival are the tomato fights of years past. Talkback callers have had strong reactions to the event in the past, and many speculated that they may have even stopped the fights this year because of the criticism. But
it's not gone forever necessarily. The location of where we had it was Cooper's, the parking lot, and they were great with it, but now it's a wedding venue, and they just don't want tomatoes in their lot.
Another popular misconception is that they wasted perfectly good tomatoes in the fights.
The Pittston tomato battle with the tomatoes. Why are these tomatoes not cooked up and sent to the islands, Hawaiian Islands, for food for these people instead of wasting them.
But the tomatoes were actually
donated by a company in Scranton, I believe, and they were just going to be thrown away anyway, so they weren't being wasted per se, they were just going to be tossed.
in lieu of the tomato fights. The first spaghetti eating contest was held for the first year ever, where competitors had to courageously consume a full pound of freshly cooked pasta in just 3 minutes. Anthony Angeli of Music was the first person to finish, and he was crowned the Manja Master.
Every year I usually try to do like one competition somewhere. Like last year was a burger challenge, and this year of course it was pasta, so I enjoy doing it, and it's a fun event. So.
You are a great big part of it. Pittston, Pittston.
Jeremy Lewan, Newswatch 16, reporting from the quality tomato capital of the world in Luzerne County.
Way to go, Jeremy.
Thank you. Thank you very much for watching.